Hello everybody, welcome back. As you know, I don't like the word hack, but I think I might have to use it for this video because what I'm about to show you really changed the way I actually interface with the instrument after so much struggle when it came to ear training. I always wanted to be able to hear something in my head and play it. I was so tired of just moving my fingers and go like, oh, that's good, oh, that's bad. And it was all random, and it wasn't the reason I started to play an instrument. I wanted to express myself, and it's hard to do when you're just watching your fingers go by, right? And so I did all the work. You know, I sang every interval for thousands of times, and I made little tapes with tests if it's a major third, if it's a perfect fourth. I knew all the names, all the spellings. But then when I actually picked up the guitar, I had a really hard time making sense of how to relate it to the instrument. And one thing, for example, that drove me crazy is that, of course, if I had a note, I knew exactly what, for example, a major second was. Da da. But when I heard it in a group of 3 or 4 intervals, I would have a hard time hearing that the second to last note was actually a major second. I knew the sounds by themselves, but I had a hard time putting them all together. And that, of course, goes against the idea of using the guitar as the last step, right? The creation happens here, and then you just lay it out on the guitar. And it took me a while to figure it out, but as it often happens with me, as you might remember from this video, for example, the open strings or the drone, a basic note that holds on while you experience the other notes, came to the rescue. And so today, actually, because I know that sometimes when I talk about drones or loopers, people go like, oh, I don't have it plugged in, or I don't know how to make a drone now. And so you don't do it. But as we talked about some other time, here it is, I also talk about how an open string can serve as a wonderful way of keeping the context of the root or tonic. So today I will show you actually how to do it with just your guitar and nothing else. So there are 2 main problems here. One problem is that we might not know what a note sounds like before we play it. If you haven't really done your homework with ear training, it's hard to go like, oh, this is an E, and I want to hear the note right before it in my head. If you don't know what a major 7 sounds like, you will only recognize it after you hear it. You might just feel it, or you might just acknowledge it, but you don't really know, you can't predict it. The other thing is, again, once we start moving, some of these notes will become muddled. They will become, it's like foggy, because you keep comparing them to other notes and you might get lost. And so we're going to tackle both things today. By the way, quick parenthesis, if you want to get deep with ear training, or at least get started in your journey, this is the video you want to watch. Okay, I know I suggested a couple already. Make sure you watch them when we're done here. So let me show you what I would suggest you do. It worked wonders for me, and after that, dozens if not hundreds of students. So we're gonna hit that low E string. I hope you're tuned like I am. I'm in regular tuning. This is E. And all I want you to do now is pick an E on the 3rd string. It's on the 9th fret. This is your root. And also pick another note. For the sake of this, we're just going to go with the next note up, which is F sharp. It's the 2nd. Okay, we're going to stay in E major for now. If you play this long enough, you will actually be able to now sing those notes. Da da, or in your head. You can hear them inside your mind. Which means that you can now create your own little melodies, limited, of course, to 2 notes, but within your mind. You can go da 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 da, right? And then I put my root below it, and I get a sense of control. Now I know exactly what I'm going to play, in what rhythm I'm going to play it, and what it will sound like. Technically, you could be writing down on a piece of paper like Mozart without even touching an instrument if your instrument only had those 2 notes. So it's a wonderful feeling that it's so easy to achieve, and yet so many students never get to experience. So now you know how it feels. Now, I know what you want to do. You want to do bends. You want an extra note down there, but we don't have those yet. You just have to work with these 2 notes. Spend a couple of minutes with that, and then we're going to add one more. You could keep going up, so we could go to the 3rd, G sharp, But actually, let's take the next note down. So we have the E, the major second, F sharp. Let's go down to D sharp. So we get a nice little push into the root, right? And just listen to them. These are your three notes. Da, 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 right? Put them in any order. Use rhythm. Use your vibratos, slides, slurs, and anything you got, because it becomes all an expression of what you hear. Okay, so again, you go with three notes, and let's sing it. Da, 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 da. I didn't sing that, wait. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, it was right. And then da, 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 da. Okay, it doesn't matter. Whatever it comes through, you play it. You could play it as long as you sing it. You could hear it in your head. Again, it's all up to you. But now you get a bit more control. And then you keep going with it, and you add one more note. Let's do the third. And you might be wondering, why are we hitting always the sixth string? Because this is your gravity center. Everything will kind of tend to go back to it. And it's very important when it comes to ear training to understand the relationship between a sound and its home, right? And in this case, home is absolutely non-ambiguous. It's E. I'm hitting it all the time. And when you hear a major third, you feel the pressure or the tension or the tendency to resolve, and you might decide, you know what, not yet. Now I really want to go back home, but I won't. Okay? Or go back whenever you want. Don't worry if you can't sing well, I can't either. So you go through it, you add one more note, like that, and then all of them. So you basically get to your octave. Feel free to move throughout the string. If you know a scale position, feel free to follow that, as long as you keep that sixth string empty. Also, you might want to try with the A and the D. You can still get away with those. If you then graduate from this, feel free by all means to get a drone going. If you're on my Patreon, don't forget there's a folder you can download where it has 12 beautiful drones recorded on this incredible machine, the Moog One. So, you know, just a little extra. It's just roots, so you can play on top of them. If you're not on Patreon, don't worry about it. Any virtual instrument or any synth or any bass guitar, anything that you want, you can generate that sustaining sound. Of course, this is only one scale, right? So we're only using 7 notes out of 12. What if we want to branch out a little bit? My suggestion is, first of all, work on the major scale. The major scale is very obvious when it comes to where the notes want to go. There's a lot of cadences and resolutions in the major scale. They really will help you focus on the sounds. And then I would just change one at a time. I could go, okay, what if I go back to only 3 notes, but I make my third minor? So we go da 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 da. Okay. And in my mind, da 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 da. Like that. I just keep hearing those things. It's a lot easier when you're not talking. You know, you just get into it. And then you can decide, maybe let me try a flat 7. I'm used to dun dun. Now I have to go da da, like that. And so you might go, okay, well now I'm going to do the minor scale. And after that, then you only have a couple of notes that you haven't played. And if you know scales, you know, you can go through different modes, the Phrygian or you know, the Lydian, and you get those missing links. But this is a process. It's not, this video is not to really complete the thing, but it's to get you started. That's pretty much it. I love to hear what you think of this. It's been really helpful for me, as I said, so I suggest you give it a shot. I always look forward to reading your comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I know there's a lot of you watching who are not subscribed. I know it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's really important nowadays on YouTube. So if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. But no matter what you do, I will see you on the next one. See ya.